Always worried I was going to trip on the stage someday, and now I've got that out of the way. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2016 SIOR Spring World Conference, part one of SIOR's 75th anniversary celebration. Thank you for being here today in San Diego. We have a great turnout with nearly 750 people in attendance, and we know this is going to be a great event. Go off script for just a second, which I know scares Lizzie, but with all the military talk, I just wanted to take a second. Would everybody who served in the military, since this seems to be the theme for the weekend, or for the conference, would everybody who served in the military please stand up? Thank you. Today's general session is one of those where you recognize people, and I can't imagine any group of people more important to recognize than the people who've served in the military. Thank you very much. As we gather here today, it gives me great pleasure to welcome the 40 new members in attendance at this conference. Will the new members please stand? Welcome to SIOR. Please take time during the conference to seek out these new members. Hopefully they'll all have the ribbon on their name tag that identifies them as such, and welcome them as part of SIOR. We all know what it was like to be, remember what it was like to be the new kid. As we recognize our new members, I'd also like to take a moment to recognize our Legacy Circle members, those with 30 or more years of membership. And I'd like to especially recognize two of our past presidents, Tom Lang and Dan Wilkinson. Tom and Dan, are y'all in the audience? Tom Lang is a double legacy. He is celebrating his 60th anniversary as an SIOR. That's a lot of dues. And Dan is celebrating his 45th anniversary, only 45, so he's just getting started. Will all of our legacy members please stand? I'd like to also welcome all of the international members in attendance. We attended MIPIM recently, which is the large European property conference, about 24,000 people. It was a great event for SIOR. We got to visit with some new sponsors and some of our international members, and also help promote the upcoming International European Conference in London in June. If you have not signed up, there's still time to register, so please do so. Let's also take a few minutes to recognize our 2015 awardees. The Instructor of the Year Award, which is determined by overall designation course student scores. Now, before I announce this, I just want to say that I think we should all, certainly I wish I had a strong enough self-image to walk around in wearing green and yellow and dressing up like a duck. But this year's award goes to Don Ossie. Don, are you in the audience? I know Don's out there somewhere. The award for the largest industrial transaction for the sale of a 525,000 square foot industrial space for $65 million goes to Mark Zorn. And feel free, if you're wherever you are, stand up and just kind of wave to the audience if you're here. The award for the largest investment transaction for the sale of a 362,000 square foot investment portfolio for $116 million goes to Jill Rasmussen. The award for the largest member-to-member industrial transaction for the lease of a 1,324,000 square foot industrial space, again for $100 million, goes to John Barker Jr. and Givens Stewart. The award for the largest transaction completed by an SIOR who has been a member for 1 year or less, otherwise known as the Rookie of the Year Award, for the sale of a 1,128,000 square foot industrial space for $72,800,000 goes to Alberto Leon. This was a member-to-member transaction and included Keith Stauber of Chicago and Gerardo Ramirez of Chapultepec, Mexico. I probably butchered that name, but just, let it go. The awards for the largest member-to-member office transaction and a transaction with an associate member, they won in both categories. For the lease of a 265,000 square foot office building for $160 million goes to Guy Massey and developer associate member Montoni. And finally, the award for the largest office transaction and our biggest reported deal of the year for the lease of a 1.1 million square foot office space for $372 million goes to Donald Ryman, SIOR. Don, would you please join me on the stage? And Don told me earlier he's buying drinks for the entire rest of the conference. Thank you. You bet. Congratulations to all of our 2015 award winners. For $20, I'll give you Don's room number, and you can. As you know, SIOR conferences would be impossible without the support of our sponsors and exhibitors. Just like we promote deal referrals between SIORs, we also need to encourage business between SIORs, our sponsors, exhibitors, and advertisers, many of whom are SIOR associate members. Prologis, our largest sponsor, continues their support of SIOR through the Prologis Speaker Series to provide best-in-class keynote speakers for our conferences. They also help promote SIOR membership with the Prologis Scholarship for new members. Tomorrow's Prologis Speaker Series session features Scott Moore, retired Navy SEAL and Rear Admiral. You will not want to miss that. Panettone Development returns tomorrow to sponsor tomorrow night's Panettone Party above the USS Midway, which is our 75th anniversary celebration at this conference. A quick note about the party: the USS Midway is a decommissioned aircraft carrier and museum, and they do request that you wear closed-toed, flat shoes. So I'm going to be going out and buying some shoes today. I knew I shouldn't have brought those heels. Panettone is also sponsoring the Young Professionals Evening Out last night at Bang Bang. I don't make this up. Bank of America is sponsoring today's opening general session. They also sponsored last night's leadership conference at the Rustic Root, which I might add was a huge success. And if you... I will say, I think San Diego has added about 100 bars and restaurants since the last time we were here, but the Rustic Root is an amazing place. I really check it out if you have time. USAA returns to sponsor tomorrow's Bull and Beer reception during the exhibitor raffle. Be sure to get your exhibitor passport signed so that you don't miss the opportunity to win some great prizes, so get your dance card punched. Longtime sponsor Rockefeller Group and my good friend Tom McCormick will gather with the young professionals and new members during their reception tonight at the Tequila Bar and Grill in the pool area. So we've got young professionals, tequila, and a pool. What could go wrong? I'd also like, are we singing Happy Birthday to Tom again? Is that, oh, we did that in Chicago. Sorry, I forgot. All right. I'd also like to say thank you to Ductile Slab Systems, More Capital, Centerpoint Properties, Liberty Property Trust, Dermody Properties, DCT Industrial, KDC Real Estate Development and Investments, Hoy Engineering, and NAR Commercial, a SIOR 75th anniversary sponsor. In addition to our sponsors, we have 30 exhibitors at this conference. They are that way. And they look forward to seeing all of you, so please make sure to visit with them. Exhibits will open again with lunch in the exhibit hall immediately after this general session. This conference, we have a number of things going on in the foyer area, easy for me to say, and I urge you to spend some time at the 75th Anniversary Lounge. Relics from SIOR's past are on display, and you can take a selfie in front of the 75th anniversary backdrop, and please sign the memory book. And by the way, in case you guys haven't seen it, this is the SIOR report, which is the 75th anniversary. I hope everybody picks one of these up. I think SIOR outdid itself this time. This thing is fantastic. So anyway, grab a copy. They were out front. That's where I stole mine. Also, please be sure to stop by the foundation table. This year, the foundation has committed over $175,000 in funding with $88,000 to match your own chapter gifts. I urge you to join me in buying at least one ticket for the Great Escape Giveaway fundraiser. I've got mine. And if you buy two, you get the third free. It's a great way of giving back to a profession that has done so much for all of us. Tickets are on sale at the foundation table, or you can buy a ticket from any trustee agent. The drawing is going to be Saturday at the general session, and you do not need to be present to win. And just in case you don't know, the SIOR Foundation is separate from SIOR. It is a charitable nonprofit. It is 100% dependent on donations, and when you pay your dues, none of the money from your dues goes to the foundation. As a past president of the foundation and a donor myself, I'm very proud that the foundation is continuing its great work. As I've had the opportunity to travel around, I've gotten to meet a lot of the scholarship winners, and I tell you, it is really, it's amazing when you get to meet so many of them and realize what those donations really do accomplish. And if you're interested in joining one of the most exciting group of Kool-Aid drinkers in SIOR, just ask a trustee about joining the foundation. It's the most rewarding thing you can ever do in SIOR. I love the foundation and the trustees because they are the most unabashed believers in the cause for student scholarships. These people don't wake up thinking, gee, who can I hit up for money today? They do it because they truly believe in helping others. At the beginning of the year, we announced some significant changes to SIOR's governance structure. The board of directors, which is now going to be elected by open board seats, that is, you don't serve on the board because you hold some other position such as regional director or council director. So therefore, when you're on the board, you represent SIOR in its entirety. Decisions that are made by the board of directors are made for the benefit of SIOR in its entirety, and the newest board members will be announced tomorrow. The creation of the Member Coalition Council, the MCC, will have one of the most positive impacts on SIOR because it is a group of volunteers that will be the voice of membership and where members can impact the direction of the organization. Each member of the MCC represents a constituency of members: the diversity group, faculty group, independent broker group, international, office specialist, and young professionals. Also on that, or on the MCC, are the committee leaders of the committees, the conference committee, membership standards and admissions, non-dues revenue, and technology and communications committee. Each representative of these member groups and committees will be asked to consider carefully any issue brought before it and how it relates to their group or committee. The MCC provides a place for the sharing of ideas and information by a representative cross-section of membership. It acts as a think tank to recommend activities, services, and programs that will provide value to our members. However, there are two groups that do not currently exist, and some of us think we might want to consider that. One is an industrial member group, and the other is an investment member group. We've seen the success of the IBG, the independent broker group, and the office member group, and their ability to pull in sponsors and create programming and networking opportunities catered to the needs of their member groups. Creation of member groups has to be created by the members themselves in order to be sustainable. If you're interested in participating in the creation of an investment or an industrial group or any other member group, please let us know. We want the MCC to be inclusive and represent a wide array of members' interests. And we need volunteers. There's no better way to get to know your fellow SIORs than getting on a committee or active in a member group. That's where the relationships are built in SIOR. Serving as a regional director is also a tremendous way to get to know other chapters in your region, their members, and serve SIOR. You become part of the Chapter Leadership Council, serving together with chapter presidents and vice presidents. There is some travel expense, but SIOR reimburses for that. Together with other regional directors, you can have a huge impact on helping chapters and get to know a lot of members. And now let's get started with today's keynote program. We are fortunate in having Bank of America Merrill Lynch return as today's opening general sponsor. And I would like to thank Bank of America for their generous support of SIOR and our World Conferences.